Coach, maybe if you could just assess what you saw on tape following Saturdays, the good things and maybe not good things.
About exactly what I expected, what I thought after the game. I thought that, in all three phases of the game, there were some good things, and there was a lot of things we need to get cleaned up. I mean, there were, there's a lot more out there for this football team. I think like I said, we have the potential to be a good football team, but we got to play smarter. We got to play more efficient. We just got to execute at a higher level, and we need to coach it better, and we need to execute it better, and as a football team. And I think there's no quite there. At times we were very good, but at times we were our own worst enemy. And I thought offensively we left some points out on the field. We started slow. We didn't have. I thought we got a little bit better as the game went on, but we had too many lost yardage plays, especially on series starts and 1st and 10s where we got behind in the sticks, and that makes it hard, which creates long yardage situations. And I think we can play better up front than we did. And we need to play better up front, and special teams, it's kind of the same thing. We were inconsistent, in carrying out our techniques, fundamentals the way we need to, and obviously you give up a big the long kickoff return hurt us. We had two guys unblocked to the ball, and I don't know whether they lost sight of the ball or what it was, but that's inexcusable. And then defensively, we give up too many big plays, and that's guys' eyes in the wrong place, and just not executing the way we need to execute, and fundamentally, and not being in the right places, and had a couple missed tackles that I thought really hurt us. But on a positive note, I think all the things that happened are very correctable. But we they're not going to correct themselves by themselves. It's not going to correct itself by itself. We're going to have to work hard to get it done, and be more focused, more disciplined, and keep getting better. That's the key. Is to we have to take advantage of today, tomorrow, this week. We need to be a better football team Saturday than we were this past Saturday.
Martin okay? Or injury wounds?
Yeah, Martin's okay. I mean, he has a thigh bruise, and I'd say he's probably questionable. You just don't know how long those take. Sometimes everyone's a little bit different, and he's a tough kid. We'll just have to see what happens there. But I thought in his place, obviously Jody played very well, and we have other options at the running back position. Demond got in there and did a nice job. So we'll just have to see how the week plays out there. Other than that, we've had a couple guys with a few nicks, but nothing long term. We came out of it pretty healthy.
Having gone through that list of not so goods that you just did, by the same token, you gave an FBS team all it could handle on its home field. That has to be encouraging.
Well, to me, I'm not a moral victory guy. I fully expected to win the football game. As I stand here now, I feel we should have won the football game. I believe, that's how I feel. I felt going in we were going to win, and I feel like today that we should have won the football game.
Zach was saying one of the things that helped him was you kind of gave him a confidence boost, I think, the Friday before the game. So, in your experience, how big is the mental side of kicking?
Well, I think that, I've said it, that I believe that he's, he went through a tough stretch. I think, Joe, I think you were out there one of the days that he went through about a 2 or 3 day stretch where he struggled, and we were struggling with our kicking, and he locked back in, didn't panic, and since that day, he really turned it on, and I see he's experienced the consistency of watching the ball go through, and he's been hitting it solid, and I think with that he's just gained a lot of confidence, and he's he's in a good rhythm right now. He believes he's going to make every kick, and it was a good start for him. I was glad that unfortunately we didn't score on that first drive, on our first drive, but it was for him to be kind of get his feet wet, so to speak, with a shorter kick, it sure helps him, kind of break the ice. And, you didn't want that. What do you have? I think a 42-yarder, something like that. You didn't want that being his first kick, So I think that, for him it worked out well. Then not so well for us as a team because you want to put the ball in the end zone there and have his first kick be an extra point. But, having to go out with a field goal, it was on the hash, but it was a little bit shorter, so that helps.
Coach, what will it mean for you to walk out Saturday night, the home opener in your hometown?
I haven't really thought much about it, Dana, to be honest with you. I mean, for me, I've coached in a lot of football games in a lot of different venues, and I've said this. It's not about me. It's about this football team and these kids, and my focus right now is on getting better this week and getting this football team better. And we have a lot of work to do, but I'm looking. It's always funner for me coaching at home, being at home, and hopefully we can fill these stands up. And I've said I want to challenge this community to let's go out and let's fill these stands. I think it's important for this program going forward that we that we can fill this place up on a regular basis.
As far as Kennedy with kickoffs, is that something you could see him doing in the future, or just Connor just have a rough day? Is that like that?
That's we'll see how that plays out. I mean, we have options, and a lot of it to me plays out on how people are kicking during the week.
What's your impressions of Robert Morris?
I think they're an improved football team. I think they're getting better. You watch a film from last year, and then their film from Saturday, and I think Coach Banaszak's doing a good job. They're getting better. They're making progress, and I know this will be a big game for them. I'm sure they'll approach it that way, and you see, from a coaching standpoint, you always want to see, are they on the uptake? Are they, and I think they surely are. From their talent standpoint and how they play, and they're a better football team now than any, not even close as to where they were a year ago, which says a lot about what they're doing over there.
Any individuals or anything about their schemes that stand out?
I think they have decent speed. They have I'm not real good on names, and I think they have a young quarterback who I think is a pretty good player. The running back's a big guy, in the same kind of light of what we saw a week ago. 235, 240-ish, and he has some experience, and they have some guys that have caught a number of passes and are back, and so I think that. Offensively, they have some guys returning, and the same thing defensively. They have some guys that can make some plays, and they play a lot of guys, and have some experience back on the football team.
Coach, anything change for you offensively if Martin can't play and you go with Jody Webb? They have the same skill set, or is there one maybe strength?
No, we don't change it much. Not with without. Martin, we pretty much, we can run the same plays. Jody's shown the ability not only to run, wide, use his speed, but he can run between the tackles, and as can the other, our other backs. So, we won't miss. Obviously, you want Martin's a heck of a football player. We want him to play, but we have confidence in all our backs.
Would you like to see a lot of guys play on Saturday?
Yeah, I'd like to. It all depends on how the game plays out. I've always been one to say that you can never really see how a game's going to go, and I want to play well, and I want us to play more efficiently and take care of us, and make sure that we're doing the things, we're executing, we're understanding the game plan, and we're playing at a high level, and I think that needs to happen this week. And I think we need to make a big jump from the first week from game 1 to game 2.
Will the level of competition help do that, with no disrespect meant to Robert Morris?
Well, I don't. I think you can't. I don't really look at who we're playing. It's play the way you're supposed to play, and when you have your do your job and do it the best you possibly can, and execute what we're asking you to do in every phase of the game. And who they line up over there, I'm not that concerned with. I'm concerned with our guys doing what we're asking them to do and doing it on a consistent, high standard level.
So did you learn something about your team in competition that maybe you didn't know when you guys went through all the practices and summer camp and all that?
Well, it's good to see how guys, kind of stack up against another opponent. I'd never been out there with this group before, with this group of guys, and I thought going in that we had a chance to be a good football team this year, very good. But there's always that, how good can we be? I came out of the game thinking we can be very good. We have the potential to be very good. But I can say this: a lot of teams out there have that type of potential. It's what you do with the opportunity, and it's going to be up to us to make the most of the opportunity.
Did you watch the Nebraska play, or did you see an aware?
I did not. I heard about it, and that's the furthest thing from my mind.
What about the FCS schools? I mean, in the Missouri Valley Conference, the first week, South Dakota State, I think, beat Kansas. You even look at that, Coach? Or?
No, I didn't. I heard some of the scores, but I'd be honest with you, I don't really pay attention much to that. I lock in on what we have going, and like I said, I control what you can control, and that's this football team, and that's getting better today. And a lot of people, they have fun with that, and they look at that, and I'll get to see all those games on film here as we move forward.
After the game, Hunter was pretty open about saying, I think one of the quotes was, I put this one on me. I didn't play as well. I didn't make as many plays as I could have. How do you assess his play and what he needs to do going forward?
That's the type of kid that Hunter is. He's a competitive guy, a leader. Somebody who puts a lot on himself. But believe me, you can't. This is to me, football is the ultimate team game. One guy doesn't win or lose a football game. A quarterback, usually are wired. It's the type they think that it all runs through them. But you can only do so much. But I thought he started a little bit slow. He maybe had some first game jitters. Just was a little bit off early in the game, and I thought he got better as the game went on. It's a real positive. He didn't turn the football over. We didn't turn the football over on offense, and that helps you win a football game. Keeps you on track. And but do I think Hunter played his best? No, I think there's a lot more out there for him. But I know this: we didn't play our best around him either. So like I said. There isn't a guy on that, is you win as a team, you lose as a team. And everybody, every coach, every player, everybody associated with takes responsibility. We didn't play well enough. You look yourself in the mirror, you take responsibility for it, and you move on. And you move on in such a way to get it fixed so it doesn't happen again.
Coach Alexander, you mentioned the turnovers. He had a big game. He was very confident after the game, saying that this was a good football team. What does he bring to your defense, and has he brought to this program? He's
a confident guy. He's a good football player. He understands what we're doing defensively. He studies hard. He has really good ball skills. So he can play deep. He can play up closer to the line of scrimmage. He's pretty physical. He's usually a very sure tackler, and for the most part all day he was. He missed a couple tackles late in the game. I thought he got a little bit tired. I think we got to look at him going forward about the amount of special teams. He also played a lot on special teams, but I thought overall he played a pretty good football game, and he's a good player. He's going to help us.